Welcome back to Emotional Mojo. So is ADHD a condition or a curse? Our guest today is here to explain why he feels it's a gift. Welcome author and ADHD expert, Dr. Kevin Ross Emery.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So you have the most unique definition of ADHD ever. Tell us what that is.
Okay, I look at ADD and ADHD as part of the evolutionary process, broadening the bandwidth of humanity. These were the architects of the 20th century, and now they're the architects of the 21st century. So since the late 90s, I have been talking about why it's not a disability, why it's not a disorder, and why it's become such a big cash cow.
Oh, that's
talk about the
interesting.
cash.
Yes, I want to hear about that. You mean medications?
Medication, well, you know, it's a billion-dollar industry now.
Okay.
And it's not just medications, it's the services that are provided. It's the extra monies the schools get. It's the extra monies the parents get. But it all comes with strings. And guess where all those strings lead back to? So here, you know, a family can get SSI benefits if they have a disabled child.
That's right.
But if the doctor says that that child should be medicated and they don't put them on that medication, they lose their benefits.
That's right.
So now we are forcing you to medicate your child, even though these medications have black box warning labels, which is permanent death or disability. These have horrible side effects, and there is a 20% misdiagnosis rate according to NIH.
So, but you say that it's actually a gift, so you don't necessarily want people to be medicated because you think it's a gift and it can actually give you a leg up.
Oh, it's absolutely a gift. It's a gift for a number of different reasons.
Okay.
But you know, there's a couple of places that you want to set the stage. You have always looked that there have been people throughout all of history who have been able to seem to pick up history and shift it. A Leonardo da Vinci, a Socrates, you know, the people who thought differently. They were able to go in and think differently.
Outside the box.
Yep, and now, come along somewhere in the 1800s, we start to see these becoming an increasing numbers of people. Why? Because humanity is no longer in any kind of survival mode.
Okay.
And so now we have developed the land, we have developed our humanity, though we won't get into that discussion. And along the way, now we can start to really develop the intellect. Now the brain has more time. It has food sources. It's not worried about starving. It's not worried about all of these things.
And with that comes technology. So in my mind, I'm thinking kids today, I sound really old now. Kids today have no, I know, right? Have like no attention span because they're constantly on, they have that electronic stimuli. So for them to sit in a class and listen to a teacher is like, you know, because they're so used to TV and video games and all that.
Well, there's a research out that talks about how the fact that we shouldn't even be letting our kids play with handheld stuff until high school.
Wow.
Because it does actually, it actually does interfere with with our natural growing. Do you remember the Einstein, baby Einstein stuff?
Yeah.
And then, do you notice how they disappeared? Well, that's because a lawsuit came up against them because it was showing that it was actually lowering babies' IQs by sitting there watching the TV instead of kinesthetically touching, interacting, exploring, things like this. So we need to get the handheld away. We need to not make television our babysitter. We need to not make computers our babysitters. And now they're saying, well, we can't absolutely prove it. Now, this is one of those moments, but maybe exposing them to all of this violence is increasing violence.
Just a little bit, you know?
But we can't prove it.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about some celebrities that, because you have a book, Famous People with ADHD, Jim Carrey, Olympian Michael Phelps, Paris Hilton, among other celebrities that have been affected. So you think, has this hurt their careers or helped their careers? I mean, you look at Jim Carrey, and he has ADHD written all over him.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say, the book is Famous People with ADHD. Are you one waiting to happen?
Ooh, I like that.
Don't forget the second part of the title. Are you one waiting to happen? And fame does not necessarily just equate to celebrities. But I'm going to answer your question because we are talking about famous people also like Einstein, Edison, Graham Bell. We're talking about Michael Phelps. We're talking about Eleanor Roosevelt. We are talking about people that have gone through every aspect of changing this world, from science and medicine, you know, to statesmanship and all of these different things. Absolutely. Would Robin Williams be Robin Williams without his ADHD? Or Jim Carrey? No. And what I find interesting is if you very carefully look at this, and you know, Adam Levine recently came out and he has been a spokesperson for one of the medications.
Okay.
Which I'm sure is not a free gig.
Probably not.
No. But the question I really want to ask him, and I want to go, when you go in to actually create your music, when you became famous, were you taking those? Or was it when you wanted or had to become normalized? And this is part of the issue that we create. You know, in my first book, Managing the Gift, Alternative Approaches for Attention Deficit Disorder, and that came out in 2000.
Okay.
I'm not new on this block.
Right.
Okay, I own this red light. So, but I said that we should not have called it ADD, because that's what we called it back then. We should have called it CIS, which is Cultural Inconvenience Syndrome.
Okay.
We medicate these children because they're culturally
inconvenient. But I like what you're saying about that. With the medication, it kind of just holds people down.
Yeah.
Where you're saying with these creative celebrities that they're allowed to think outside the box. They're not medicated, right? So it's helping in the thought process and the creativity.
All right, we could talk about this for a very long time, but we do need to move on. Okay, so you can get more on your books by visiting what's your website? MyDrKevin.com?
MyDrKevin.com, MYDRKEVIN. Go to the website.
Perfect.
That's also all my social media, Facebook, Twitter, you get it. You put in MYDRKEVIN, you will find me. I am there.
So you're gonna love this game. This is a game we call Yes,
it.
No, all right? So first up, a Canadian teen was banned from playing on his baseball team because he refused to cut his hair he'd been growing for more than a year to donate to charity. His mother recorded this exchange with the coach.
I said it's an admirable cause, okay? You could have mentioned that to me on Thursday night, though, right? Last Thursday, that was the reason. I'm not going to say that it was going to make any difference.
His hair does not change that. His hair does not change his ability.
Okay, do you know what this is right now? Is disrespect for my wishes.
No,
Kim.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
So the coach says he's been coaching for 7 seasons. He's had to, this is his job, is to keep up a certain, look. So do you think the teen should have to cut his hair? Yes or no? Yes,
I'm
Tim,
gonna tell you
tell
why.
me about it.
Okay, the New York Yankees cannot wear beards.
Okay.
And so, I mean, they're grown men.
Yeah.
So, even though this guy is
the
a
dress
little bit
code.
too military, and I don't really like his tone, the coach, it's still the way he is running his team.
Okay.
And so he's got to follow the rules.
Well, and if I was being paid millions like a Yankee, I would not
Have a beard.
either. All right, next up, the author of a health and fitness blog, Brooke on a Diet, not on a diet, excuse me, is taking Shape magazine to task. The reason they refused to post her post-diet picture. So take a look at this picture. She lost 172 pounds the old-fashioned way, counting calories and exercising. She blogged about it. The magazine contacted her to do a feature story and asked her for a success photo. She sent her this one, and they said, you need to put a shirt on. She declined and then blogged her response. If anything, they should want my picture on their site. My body is real, not photoshopped or hidden, because I feel like I should be ashamed after losing 172 pounds. So what do you think? Should she have to put a shirt on and send a different picture? Or should the magazine now
Which one?
put this?
Which
Should she have to put a shirt on?
She had,
No.
Upside down. No.
No, she's okay.
Oh, you think she should?
She's proud of herself.
yeah.
All right.
But if she wants to be in a magazine, then she has to abide by the
All
rules.
right, we'll be right back. Lots of